Yo, what's up, NBA fans? It's Out Sports back here again today, and today we're going to be talking about the blockbuster trade that the Nets need to pull off right now. No, it's not a Bradley Beal trade. No, it's not a James Harden trade. But this player fits better than both of them, in my opinion, and with the recent Dinwiddie injury, it's even more important that they pull this off now than before. Ladies and gentlemen, that bell was just a reminder as we prepare for takeoff towards the upcoming video to strap in your subscribe button and activate your like button for a smooth takeoff. Enjoy your flight with us at Sports. With KD and Kyrie back healthy again this year, all the NBA talk shows like The Jump, Undisputed, First Take, even NBA articles, and other things about how the Brooklyn Nets have been performing, their recent wins or losses, if they need to make a star trade. And I want to bring us back to that star trade aspect because I think they really need to make one. And like I said, it's not going to be for one of the guys y'all think. It's for a guy no one's talked about. And right now, the person I'm talking about, his team is really struggling, and I think they may be thinking about switching up their team, and this could be a great move for both directions, and I think he fits amazing with them. And I'm just going to go ahead and get into it right now. It's Kyle Lowry. Now, Kyle Lowry's on the Toronto Raptors, and right now they have one of the worst records in the league. They look like they need a lot of help, and Kyle Lowry's only getting older, man. He's getting paid a lot of money, and he could lead them up in a couple of years in free agency. So, why they had the leverage, they can go ahead and trade him while he has some value, get something back for him, send him to a contender, best Raptor of all times, like a little thank you, you're on a contender now, go win another championship. Because currently, the Raptors really aren't that good. Now, of course, they won a championship 2 years ago, but they've lost a lot since then. Right after they won the championship, they lost Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, two of their starters on their championship team. Not to mention, this past year, they lost two of their bigs in Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol. And they thought they could bring in Alex Len and then have Chris Boucher play more minutes. And it's not really working, and Pascal Siakam's kind of getting exposed this season too. And this core group, I don't think, has a chance to win another championship. So if there's any time to move on from Kyle Lowry, it's now. You don't want to waste the rest of his career, and you don't want to lose him for nothing. So it's not like you're sending him to a bum team. I mean, you're sending him to the Brooklyn Nets. Now, Kyle Lowry is on a pretty hefty contract, so I don't think the Nets should go up a whole bag for him. But I do think the Raptors should get some compensation because obviously this will let them have flexibility in free agency next year. But still, Kyle Lowry is an amazing player. So the trade I came up with is Caris LeVert. He gives them a good shooting guard that could possibly develop into a really good player. I mean, I could see him being like a Victor Oladipo or something like that in his prime. So they have him. They need a big man, as we see this year. So they give him Jarrett Allen. He's a young, up-and-coming center, and he get more PT on the Raptors anyways. So you get both those players, and then throw in Timothy Lualu, I think that's his name. He's been pretty good for the Nets this year, and give him a second-round pick. And then a player like Tyler Johnson or something for a salary filler to match salaries. And I think that will be a great trade for both sides, as the Raptors will get a couple pieces to build off on, and then they could tank the rest of this year, get a good draft pick, and then they have a lot of young players to build with. And on the other hand, the Nets get their third star without giving up too much of their team. Honestly, man, I think the Raptors win this trade no matter what. Alright, if they're bad like they're expected to be, giving up their best player, cool, man. Then they get a really good player in a stacked 2021 draft, or so I hear it's supposed to be stacked. And if either Caris LeVert or Jarrett Allen or Pascal Siakam or Fred VanVleet take their game to the next level and lead them to the playoffs or even better, then guess what? That's just a bonus. Like, oh, we're good now and we're younger. So either way, they're winners right there. But for the Nets side of it, they do give up some depth. Yes, they do. But I think this makes them stronger in the long run. Now, the big question people are going to have with this trade, I know a lot of people are going to say it, Kyrie and Kyle Lowry playing point guard and shooting guard, they're both like 6'1". Well, Kyle Lowry has proven he's one of the best defenders in the NBA, and he's probably the best defending, post-defending point guard in the NBA, besides like Ben Simmons, because he's like 6'10". Kyle Lowry usually guards the most charges in the NBA, regardless of position. And he's won a championship with Fred VanVleet as a shooting guard who's about 6'1" or 6 foot. So he's proven he can win a championship with another small guard next to him because he's just a really good defender. And of course, just the offensive skills of him, Kyrie, and KD all on the floor together with Joe Harris. It's just going to be amazing because Joe Harris will probably play a small forward, KD play power forward, and then they will have DeAndre Jordan playing center. But they still have some pieces off the bench. Of course, Spencer Dinwiddie's injured, but they still have Jeff Green. They have Taurean Prince, Landry Shamet, and people underestimate Bruce Brown was really good for the Pistons last year. I think if they do this trade, he could get a lot of playing time. So that's 4 really good rotation players right there. And, you know, they could just pull off a trade or something for someone else, and they will be set, man. They'll have a good 10-man rotation. You know, teams don't really go more than 8 or 9 deep in the playoffs anyway, so they would be straight unless they had, you know, injuries. But in my opinion, if the Raptors make this trade, it really depends on how they're doing. If they keep on losing games over and over and over, I think the front office isn't going to like that, and they're just going to pull a plug on it. But if they start winning, maybe they convince themselves to keep on trying and play out the rest of the year with Lowry. But on the net side of it, I think a big part depends on what the front office is trying to do. If they're trying to win this season or next season, which I think they should, because KD's on the bad side of 30 now, and you know Kyrie's edging towards 30. I think they should pull this trade off. But this does make them a lot older as they get for 2 of their best young players in Caris LeVert and Jarrett Allen, and they get a like 33-year-old Kyle Lowry, somewhere around there. So this team might only be good for another 3 or 4 years, and then they might fall off due to age. So that is something to think about when thinking about this trade. But just how good that will make them, I think they could repeat, man, like back-to-back champions this year and next year. So I think it's definitely worth doing. But then again, I'm just a random guy on the internet. What the hell do I know? If y'all have any comments about this trade or any other trades that the media really aren't covering and no one's talking about, I'd love to hear about them, or just have a conversation with y'all in the comment section. So just comment down below and we get that popping. But anyways, guys, until next time, this is Odd Sports. Have fun with y'all day.